DD214 Network podcast is for mature audiences only. Any videos, music, or entertainment not originating from DD214 Network is used and covered under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, also known as fair use. Opinions expressed are our own and do not represent any DoD or U.S. government entities as a whole. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Viewer and listener discretion is advised. You are no longer alone now, because we have you.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning.
I think my computer was a little behind because it kept like glitching, and then I looked it up on YouTube and it was going fine on YouTube, and I was like, I had no idea when we were coming back because it like totally glitched
Welcome in,
out.
Cleary. Long time no see. Glad to see that you're alive.
Oh, right on. We already have visitors this morning. That's sweet. He is alive. Good. So that's the way to be. That's the way to be. That is the way to be. How are you guys doing today? John, I think you're muted.
I can't be muted. It's saying I'm not.
Your audio is turned down for some reason all the way.
Can you hear me
On
now?
our end. Yeah, we can hear you now.
Oh, interesting. I wonder.
I had to on the sidebar where it shows all of us, that volume meter was pushed all the way down for some reason on you.
Oh, interesting. I think Melon is starting to act a little funny. Yeah, because I've been to be quite honest, it's been kind of interesting the last couple of weeks. I don't know if you guys have noticed. I know I've noticed that there's been some kind of like weird internet connections going on with Melon, and it says we have great internet, and then it doesn't.
Right. And that's like, this is the first time I've ever like watched going into the intro, like I had no idea when it was because it kept glitching out, and we were way behind. From my view, it was way behind, and then all of a sudden we're live. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, technology, cool. I guess I'm live now.
Because the other day I was shooting something, and we put on a commercial, and the commercial played for like a minute and a half longer than it was supposed to. Right. And it was just a black screen, and I couldn't shut it off. And I was like, what the hell was that? Mm-hmm. You know, so I'm, computer shit. But it's funny because like we have this long-standing story of Jay and technology, and I think the story is about to have a plot twist pretty soon, because I think his computer is about to die within the next 2 years.
It would be coming up on its regular lifespan probably within 2 years, yes. But
how long have you had it?
I bought it in 2019. So I've had it for about 5 years. Not quite 5 years right now. So
it surpassed its regular lifespan already.
I have never downloaded a lot of stuff onto this computer. I have it almost solely for internet and a couple of files that I've saved, like from my Army time. And that's like there's almost nothing on this computer. So yeah, the fucking thing better last another couple of years, because I'm not getting a new one anytime soon. You know what I mean? Like fucking
guys.
But yeah,
send your donations to something.
Yeah, buy Jay a new fucking laptop.
Actually, don't send any donations. We don't know where that money's going to, actually, so don't do that. don't do that. But Brandon Clear is about to change the belt on the snow blower. Is that like changing the belt on a chainsaw?
Kind of, yeah. Similar.
That's just,
it's
similar.
Yeah. The fucking engine. Yeah, it's an engine. So yeah. There's an engine in there.
Is it the same as taking apart an M249 to clean it?
No.
No.
There's other working parts in there that have to be in place and put back in place.
Now
for the engine to work, because it's an engine.
Now with the way the society is, what do you think is harder for today's society? Changing a belt on a snowblower or changing the belt on a chainsaw?
Just wearing a belt. Wearing a belt seems to be the hardest thing for today's society.
Thank you. Fucking thank you.
I'm just going to go right there, fucking hit people below the belt, or lack of a belt in this scenario.
Shit.
Yeah. Learn to wear a belt first, and we'll teach you how to change different types of belts and different types of combustible engines like another time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we got it baby steps here. First, you got to learn how to put a belt on your waist to hold your fucking pants up. Then we can teach you how to change a belt on a motorized device with a combustible engine. We're not quite at combustible engine belts yet, John, with today's society. I'm not sure if you've seen the people in today's society.
I've seen a few. I've done some research.
Just saying, dude.
Yeah. Oh man, so what do we got on the belt today? Do you want to start off with some entertainment stuff?
Since we do have a couple of.
Well, I mean,
what were you gonna say, Joe?
Do we want to talk about the wrestling belts first? You know, since we're on belts right now, we go into the undisputed championship belt in the WWE and the fucking storyline plot twist that fucking happened this week and all that shit, because there's a lot of belts out there that need to be maneuvered around in the universe.
Yeah, so I mean, to be quite honest, I don't watch a lot of wrestling. I don't know what happened this week, but I think everyone and their mothers know that The Rock came back and inserted himself into the WrestleMania situation, which is actually kind of funny because a couple of years ago,
if you smell what The Rock is cooking.
Listen, and no one can do a better eyebrow, right? And it's interesting because we know what happened with Vince McMahon. We know that right before that, The Rock got the position at TKO, and now The Rock is kind of doing what Vince was doing on the TV side of things, kind of putting himself in the picture. Yeah, what do you got?
I'm really curious about this one, not only because who was the actual participants that made the final decision, but also who was coming up with these ideas when they've spent basically the last 2 years building up Cody Rhodes,
who won the Rumble,
and he won the Royal Rumble, and then 7 days later handed over the opportunity to go for the championship at WrestleMania to The Rock, which this has been one of the more, this to me is as unpopular now as Brock Lesnar beating Undertaker at WrestleMania was several years ago.
Yeah. Cody got screwed on this.
This is just a bad storyline call. Just a bad storyline call. Just absolutely bad call.
Cody got this one, straight up. And I think because it was very clear that Cody Rhodes was choosing Roman Reigns to fight at WrestleMania. It was all there. And you know what? How funny is it that I just realized seconds ago that Cody was the one who won it and chose Roman, and how all this just switched over. Now I realize why everyone's in a tizzy.
They are. This is the first time I've seen
professional
outside of stuff that happens outside the ring. This is the first time I've seen professional wrestling in the news since The Undertaker lost to Brock Lesnar. So that's about how big the storyline was building to. And they basically just shit on 2 years of storytelling. The Rock to come back.
And what it seems like is going to end up happening is, so Rhodes is still going to main event one of the two nights, because over the last couple of years, one thing that has happened with WrestleMania is it's gone from a one night, Sunday nights, WrestleMania, the whole road to WrestleMania week, that week before, and then Sunday night's the actual event. Now they do WrestleMania Saturday and Sunday, where Saturday has a main event, Sunday has a main event. And what it's looking like now, because Cody Rhodes announced he wasn't going to go against Reigns and stepped aside for The Rock in the storyline with the way they scripted it, it's now looking like Rhodes is going to face Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship instead of the WWE Championship.
Which that could set up like a mega match, like SummerSlam, maybe
SummerSlam or something like that. A mega match for becoming the undisputed champion, right, and having both the WWE Championship belt plus the heavyweight kind of scenario. It could set up for other things to play out. However, it is kind of odd that, this 2 years of buildup, Rhodes going against Reigns and the Bloodline so much over the last 2 years, and there being that constant back and forth battle. And then all of a sudden, he steps aside for The Rock to come in to face Reigns.
Right.
Like,
it seemed to rub a lot of people the wrong way.
It's rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. I mean, I can somewhat see it because they're earlier in the last couple months where The Rock came out and talked and spoke on how he was going to be the one to take the head of the table out and stuff like that. So they did kind of ease it in and kind of hint towards it going this way at WrestleMania before it officially went this way. I still feel like Rhodes did somewhat get screwed in the storyline with this. But yeah, I mean, outside of that, other wrestling news, Brock Lesnar has been removed from the 2K games and their mobile games.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Like,
where's my I need a good
not a good day to have a piss fetish.
Stone, brother.
Yeah, Rock and Stone, motherfucker. You're done. You're done.
They're currently in the process of erasing McMahon, like basically the same way they erased Benoit back in those dark days. They're erasing McMahon right now, and it's like it's really interesting to see how quick the WWE will even like turn on itself just to freaking put somebody out of the limelight. You know what I mean, just to take somebody off, like just to take, you got to think McMahon was First, he started as like a ringside announcer. I remember that from my childhood. You know what I mean? From my childhood, when he was a ringside announcer. And he would interview the wrestlers. Then he like started inserting himself into a lot of the storylines going into the 90s and especially the late 90s, the Attitude Era. Until by the early 2000s, he was a full-blown character, or caricature of himself within the WWE universe and the universe of professional wrestling, and for them to have to go back and like edit shit and like remove him and like take the cringy shit out and whatever is like, oh my God, good luck. Because he put himself in a lot of different shit over the years. You got Stone Cold, you got The Rock, you got the corporation, all the shit with his kids. You know what I mean? And then how far back do you go? Do you eliminate matches that like he was just like a ringside commentator on? I don't think they would probably do that, but do you? You know what I mean? Like it's their universe. And they're currently retconning it. So it's like having grown up watching.
I mean,
it's not canon anymore.
the amount of going through like the streaming platforms that all the WWE content's on, the amount of content that would just have to disappear.
Yeah, that's
we would
what I
lose everything up until this point, realistically. And unfortunately, for those of us from the older wrestling generations, we're never gonna forget the McMahons. We're never going to forget Vince. We're never going to forget he was there. We're going to, obviously not like him anymore because he's a complete fucking asshat.
It troubles me the most that he is also the reason that the WWF got so big. He's the reason that basically the WWE ended up functionally taking over and monopolizing professional wrestling in the United States. And now, like
you think 50, 60 years from now, people are even going to remember this?
I don't know. I think when you go through the history of professional wrestling, it was still regional and territorial all the way up until he became like the main head of the company after his father.
Yeah.
And that was like the late 70s. That was like the late 70s going into the 80s. And he started making a lot of big changes that other territories and promotions were not doing. You know?
Yeah.
He brought out the freaking kids. Okay. He put wrestling like on the map. He had, you know, bigger than life characters, bigger than life freaking events, you know, that he was the architect of WrestleMania. You know what I mean? And he went for like the crossover appeal, and he found it. And he hit lightning he captured lightning in a bottle.
Banked
with
on
with Hulk Hogan in the 80s, and freaking just they rode the wave. And it got a little bit wobbly in the early 90s, but by the end of the 90s, WWF/WWE was back, and it was back in a big way. And it didn't take long for, once WCW folded, that was really their only competition as a promotion in the United States. That was the only one left. And once WCW folded and was assimilated by WWE, that was it. Like, it was over. You know, and it's taken this long. We barely have AEW. We barely have rings. You know, New Japan Pro Wrestling is still a big thing, but
it's a whole different animal.
Not very many people pay as much attention to New Japan Pro Wrestling. Yeah. Like, that's just, you got to be kind of like a very dedicated wrestling fan to even really know much about New Japan Pro Wrestling in general, anyways.
Yeah.
So you're talking,
I used to watch a lot of that too, you know, watching guys like Okada, and then seeing like Tajiri and guys.
I like watching some of the old matches from the 80s. So you see, you watch like a Hulk Hogan match from, like, say, WrestleMania, then go like turn right around and watch a Hulk Hogan match when he wrestles in Japan. And it's a completely different, he wrestles in a completely different style. It'll give you a whole new outlook on how Japan kind of does pro wrestling. You know what I mean? And Mick Foley even talked about it in his book. You know what I mean? It was a lot more, the crowd was different. What the expectations were, and how the matches go is a lot. It's not hardcore different, but it's easy to notice. It's easy to notice if you know what you're looking for. You know, it's kind of like knowing how somebody does a magic trick. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And you would even see some of the bigger, like what you might call the brawling style wrestlers, when they'd go to Japan, they got a lot more technical, a lot quicker. You know what I mean? They got a lot more technical, because that's what the expectation was a lot in Japan. It's performance art, right? It's performance art, and the Japanese are very well versed in performance art. So there you go. Like, that's your professional wrestling history lesson from Jay today. So
and professional wrestling
I do appreciate it. Yeah, thank you.
The next thing we have is, I mean, I'm super excited for this, but Shane Gillis on February 24th, that's in 20 days, he is going to be hosting SNL.
Right.
You know,
he's pretty funny. He's a pretty funny guy. He really is. Tell me what happened though.
So he made some comments during his time in SNL, a very short stint that he had on SNL. I don't even know if he even made it on the air on SNL. I don't remember.
He might have just been a writer. I'm not sure. I can look that up for you real quick.
Yeah, let me know. So, I mean, I'm very familiar with Shane. He's probably one of the 6 comedians that Cat Williams was talking about. You know, but and I'm a huge Cat Williams fan. I love Cat. I love all these comedians. I just love comedy, and comedy, you know, we've said it before. It ain't dead, and there needs to be something that we could laugh about. And Shane Gillis is one of those comedians that kind of that really bends the line and really knows how to make a joke out of things. And it's pretty funny. And so he got fired for making some comments. And interestingly enough, he's coming back 5 years later. And like some of the comments on here that I was reading, like one comment here says, hilarious that y'all fired him 5 years ago and are having him host. I'm not taking a side here. It's just objectively funny.
It is, yeah. And it looks like he was scheduled to be a featured performer. He never made it to air though.
Yeah, that was right before COVID.
Yes, it was
Yes,
2019.
for the pandemic,
Yes, it was. Dude, also this dude's only 36 years old. Holy shit.
Yeah.
He's still young as shit. Like that, like good for him.
Yeah,
Good
and
for him.
then 2 days ago, what happened? What sponsorship did he land?
Fucking Bud Light. Fucking Bud Light.
Okay, and now knowing that he said the things he said, and then we know, the whole stance. And Jay, do you drink Bud Light?
Yes, I do. I drink anything that's got alcohol in it, as long as it's cold, and especially if it's free. You ain't gonna see me turn it down, dude.
Yeah. So I mean, and I don't drink beer, but if I did, I'd probably drink Bud Light. And so, it's interesting to see like everything kind of come full circle for Shane Gillis, because he is still a very hilarious comedian that still encroaches and bends that line, but it's still very funny, and he actually has a funny West Point story too. He attended West Point for a very short time. You should.
I did not know. I'll have to look into that. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, he went there. He went there to play football or something like that. He wasn't like he didn't enlist. He wasn't in the army or anything like that. But it's definitely funny, and I'm definitely going to be watching that February 24th episode of it. It's great.
I've watched SNL probably a handful of times in the last probably like half year to a year, and they weren't bad. Everybody talks shit like SNL's not funny anymore, but they say that every year. So it's kind of like you kind of have to see for yourself. You kind of have to see for yourself. But like the episodes I watched, we laughed plenty. You know what I mean? We laughed plenty. It was like not every single skit was was awesome, but it was plenty funny enough for like the time involved. Go ahead, John.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, you got to just look at it from a perspective of there's times where it's not going to be your humor. I mean, and that's all there is to it. Like, you might not some people might not find it funny. Some people might think it's fucking hilarious. Some people might think it's funny enough to be entertaining, but not, the best they've ever heard. We see it all the time with comedy and comedians. Chappelle, this new kid that's out there, Matt Rife, he had a Netflix special that came out, and he made a DV joke. But even at the same time, during the segment in his skit, said domestic violence isn't funny. He just made a joke. He's a fucking comedian. He gets paid to try to make people laugh. He's going to try anything and everything. Like, and some people aren't going to like the shit that comes out of a comedian's mouth. Some people are. And cancel culture keeps trying to cancel all these fucking comedians.
I was going to say, dude, because I got to call bullshit and total hypocrisy, because like, some of the people, not all of the people that are getting offended over some of these different comedians and their types of humor or some of the jokes that they try to land. Like, how many of us have like been in the field or some of the gallows humor? You ever worked on a job site?
Right.
You know what I mean? You ever worked in a mechanic shop? You know what I mean? And I'm not saying shop talk equals this or that. What I'm saying is, though, it's hypocrisy, because we all make nasty, dirty jokes sometimes. We've all been in fourth grade and laughed at dick and fart jokes. You know what I mean? And it's kind of where your humor evolves into as you get older, as you age, basically.
Yeah.
A lot of us still like dick and fart jokes, apparently. You know what I mean? And
I do.
That's what if it's a good joke, it's a good joke. It'll make me laugh. You know what I mean? And sometimes like
Little Dicky has a song out about sucking dick in jail. I love it. It's a great song.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Joe.
I mean, and that's the thing. It's, if it's funny, I'm going to fucking laugh at it. I don't care what you say. Like, the people, like you're saying, it's hypocrisy at the fucking at its best. It's people being hypocrites because, you might not think that's funny, but you might think, a joke about fucking homosexuality is funny. But domestic violence isn't funny to you. People are going to have their different I mean, domestic violence, first off, isn't funny. However, the hypocrisy within the comedic world and people that are fucking watching these comedians and are like, oh, this person needs to be canceled because they made this joke. They're doing their fucking job. If you don't like the material they put out, don't fucking watch their shit. It's that simple.
It's the same thing with us. We said some pretty interesting stuff. If you don't like the material, don't watch. We still have people who do watch, just like, and it's the same thing with SNL. You're going to have people that are going to watch and people who are not. The same thing with Joe Rogan, Howard Stern, Andy Cohen.
Thank you.
It's all the same. And it's gotten so crazy. And I mean, I love comedy. Like I say, I watch Kill Tony every single Monday. You tell me every single person that's inside that audience is not sitting there who doesn't who goes in there with a closed mind and ends up leaving out of that place with an open one, because comedy should be that escape for you to kind of make fun of things. That's but there's also that line too where you shouldn't be joking about some things.
I was just gonna say historically, comedians have been the ones to hold kind of like the metaphorical mirror up to society. So a lot of what their humor revolves around is a direct reflection of either where they're at or what they're surrounded with.
Yep.
And so and yes, you can get into some pretty prickly bushes, when you start wading into some of those waters, but that also challenges us as a society to question what our values and our morals are, if this, that, or the other is what's making us laugh. And that's that's also this has been another history lesson from your friendly neighborhood, Jay Campbell. So
yeah. I mean, I want to point out too, George Carlin.
Yes, Carlin, fucking Hicks, Bill Hicks, all those Sam
fucking
Eddie Murphy, motherfucker.
Robin Williams.
Richard Pryor would have been fucking canceled years ago if he was
Red Fox, dude.
Oh, Red Fox was fucking
shit. He was like one of the forerunners of I don't give a fuck. I'm a comedian. I'll say what the fuck I want to say. You know what I mean? Like, Jesus Christ. Yeah. And these are all comedians from a bygone era, but they wouldn't last fucking 10 minutes in 2024. They wouldn't last 10 fucking minutes. You know what I mean?
The thing is, what really is sad about it, and cancel culture, especially with comedians and people trying to cancel comedians for doing what they do, which is make people laugh, and they make people laugh that have similar senses of humor to them.
Correct.
But what pisses me off with the cancel culture is a lot of it is technically our generation's the cancel culture generation. There's a lot of people from our generation and then their kids, or like the
kids that are
late
are like
90s, early 2000s generation is
5 to 15 years younger than us. Yes.
Yeah.
It is a lot of our
doing this. And it's like, fuck, you obviously didn't get fucking beat enough as a child.
That's why I love like guys like Joey Diaz too, who got the trauma to tell the stories,
Like,
well,
I grew up in the generation of
I got beat.
It's fucking funny.
Yeah, well, and it's also, and again, like I like what you said. It's what's funny to you, and you're going to create groupings of people that share similar humor. Mm-hmm. For example, I did a comedy show. I think it was last year. I think it was 23 at the Midland Theater here in Kansas City, and I was doing security, and I was not that impressed with the comedy. But I didn't fucking care. I laughed at what I laughed at, and fucking that motherfucker on stage, whoever it was, they filled the whole fucking theater. The theater was goddamn full, so they had enough fucking fans here in the local metro area here. Like,
but it just wasn't your type of fucking comedy. That's all there was.
Ain't gonna see me fucking crying about it. You know what I mean?
Some people like George Carlin, some people like Jerry Seinfeld, and some people like both.
Fucking perfect point. And we've talked about that on this show. Like, I am not a fan of Jerry Seinfeld's comedy. I never have been. Didn't like the show. It's one of those things where like the dude might give me like one laugh every 30 minutes, but that's just because it's not my thing. That doesn't mean Jerry Seinfeld sucks. It doesn't mean he sucks or anybody that likes him sucks. It just means Jay's not a big fan of Seinfeld. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. Like some people, like you're saying, there's George Carlin and Seinfeld are definitely two totally different ends of the comedic spectrum. And I love Carlin. I like Seinfeld also.
Yeah.
I like Seinfeld if I want to hear good, clean jokes. I like Carlin if I want to hear raunchy, down and fucking dirty shit.
Oh yeah, and
Yep. Who's your guys' favorite like raunchy comedians?
Joey Diaz,
All time?
all time. I love Joey Diaz.
Interesting. I need to
Yeah,
start
Joey
listening.
Diaz is in the top on my list too.
He's great.
Interesting.
And
I'm not as familiar with his stuff, so I'm
And
like,
I'm
you guys
not-
are making me. I'm gonna have to check his shit out.
And
Like,
I'm not being biased because me and him are from the same hometown.
no, not at all.
You know, like not be like the dude's just absolutely fucking. Have you ever heard his joke about when he found? I don't even know if I could say it on the air. Oh my god!
What are they gonna do? Cancel us and our three viewers?
He's
dude?
got
Like,
this crazy joke
got
about when he found his mother dead on the floor from cocaine.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he's got some crazy jokes, not legal jokes, but
Yeah.
but
But see, that's the thing. That's our generation grew up listening to comedians that were fucking like that. We grew up listening to George Carlin, fucking even listening to the Howard
Clay.
Stern show.
Yeah.
And watching Howard Stern.
And Howard Stern, I mean, I respect what he does, but I'm not going to sit there every day and listen to him. Whereas me, I listen to Andy Cohen every single day and Jeff Lewis every day, but I respect what Howard has done. I mean, Howard's he has a $90 million attitude. Okay. That's his net worth. You know, the dude was getting splinters, putting vinyls on records to now sitting behind the desk in his own home, running a radio show.
Yep. And how freaking like how hard did he have to work, and like what are some of those guys like the 60s, 70s, and 80s comedians, and a lot of the personalities, like they walked so like all these motherfuckers could run. Every time you turn around nowadays, motherfuckers that are trying to run are getting knocked down by other people.
You know,
they don't like what they're saying. You know what I mean?
What's his name? Like Robin Williams. Robin Williams back in the day.
He was raunchy.
So before his death, it was hot and cold. It was very two different. It was wild, and he was great.
You definitely with him, you got he was like that perfect medium between like Carlin and Seinfeld, where he was raunchy, but he was also family friendly at the same fucking time.
Yeah, I grew up listening to a lot of stuff I probably should not have been listening to at my age. Like I got into fucking Andrew Dice Clay. I got into Andrew Dice Clay like way too fucking young. Way too fucking young.
Generation right here, man.
Basically, yeah. But it was like, Dice Clay, fucking Gallagher, Carlin, a lot of Richard Pryor, a lot of Eddie Murphy. You know, this is just the 80s. I'm just talking about the 80s when I'm like still less than 10 years old. Like this is just the 80s. I haven't even made it into the 90s yet. Like, so yeah, I was like, but that's kind of like.
The thing is, by the time you made it to the 90s, I was less than 10 years old still. And I was listening to fucking Richard Pryor and all those comedians because those were the comedians my dad liked.
Yeah.
And
you know, I had buddies give me cassette tapes, and shit to listen to it like on the slide from my parents. You know what I mean?
Well, my dad didn't give a shit. He let me listen to it with him. Like he would put a fucking cassette tape of Carlin into the fucking car radio, and we're going on a fucking family trip listening to fucking George Carlin when I'm 5 years old.
I'm not gonna lie, I've had the girls sleep in the car on a long road trip while I've played like an album of like Bill Hicks. So I've done similar, but they were kind of sleeping at the time. So yeah.
But I mean, you know, that might also be part of what's fucked up with me is at 5 years old, I was riding in the car listening to fucking Carlin.
You remember that? You remember that? What's that shit in Me, Myself, and Irene, the Jim Carrey movie? And he lets his kids like watch Eddie Murphy, and then when they grow up, like they just have like completely trash mouths, dude. Like, and that's like, this fucking guy right here, dude. Like literally, like, yep, been cursing like a sailor since like early elementary, and it ain't going away anytime soon, ladies and gentlemen. Like, it ain't going away anytime soon.
Fucking lootly. But I mean, that's the thing. Like, I grew up listening to the raunchy comedians. I grew up fucking. My all-time favorite fucking band, The Grateful Dead.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Can we just pause for a moment just for the Dead?
You know,
who just got a residency in Las Vegas with John Mayer.
Oh, the Dead Remains or whatever.
Yeah.
whatever the I saw them
whatever they're calling themselves now, because there's like one of them left.
Yeah, it's like the one that isn't dead. You know, like the one that isn't dead yet. Like, but yeah, that's like it's Bob Weir. And Bob Weir is a great dude. I've seen them a couple times at the Midland actually, and I like the music. Not a huge fan of the audience. You know what I mean? Like
my first concert I ever went to with my parents was the Grateful Dead right before Garcia passed away.
Holy shit.
And the Allman Brothers.
You're a lucky man. You're a lucky man.
I was fucking 6.
Do you remember much of it?
No. I just know I went to the fucking concert. I don't remember much of it, but again, I grew up, my dad was a big Deadhead, loved the Dead, loved Allman Brothers, grew up listening to the fucking Dead with dad. Now I've got several fucking vinyls of the Dead because I've gotten into collecting fucking vinyl records on top of all my other expensive ass hobbies. But yeah, that was my first ever that was my first concert. And then 2 months later, the Monkees. Nice.
Hey, we're the Monkees. People say we monkey around. Yeah.
And then it was like a year later was when Davy Jones from the Monkees passed away or some shit like that after we went and saw them live. So I saw them live before Davy Jones passed.
Whatever you do, don't go see Tool, please. Just stay away from fucking Tool, okay? Just saying. Just saying. All right?
Yeah.
I can see a pattern developing here, and I don't like it, Joe.
Oh shit! So what else we got today?
I actually have seen them recently, like in the last 3 years, and luckily nothing's happened yet on that end.
Okay, I'm holding you to this, Joe.
I'm blaming it on my parents because they were the center point there, and they're no longer around. So, you know, them and my brother, my twin, also being there, like I've gone and I've seen Tool. And it was just me and somebody.
I like how dark this just got, and like I love how dark this just got. And but you're surviving. You're surviving. So
I'm throwing it into the concept of I wasn't the reason in this scenario.
Right. That's fucking funny. John? What were you gonna say? We got some more stuff coming up.
Oh, no, I was just asking. What do you want? What do we got next?
We could do. How was everybody's week? Did we do anything this week?
I just worked. You know, did a lot of podcasting. I gotta plug it. Fallout's Yumi and Lore is out. So if you like Fallout and you want to hear a very honest breakdown from a passionate fan like me,
there you go, dude.
Go and listen to that. I did. You know, I had an actual incident this week. I'm not gonna give out names or say where this happened, but I had a situation. I want
to. You better spill some tea, dude, because I love hearing about your incident.
So we had the situation. So we're all part of Clean Sanchez Media. I don't, you know, sometimes I don't know the words to use. I don't like using volunteers because it makes me sound cheap and it makes you sound like, you know, you guys
fucking asshat.
Yeah, I don't like using the word employees because like I kind of feel I'm not a boss, you know. I'm your friend before anything.
This is what I got to say about the whole you being my boss thing.
I don't tell you what to do anyway. So. Right. Yeah, so we had a gentleman, and you know, I just wanted to talk it out with him because he's going through some things in his life, and he left the production for reasons that were
right.
You will. I listen. I just had this conversation on Clean.
Virtual fucking high five, Jay.
No, you know what's funny? I just had this conversation on the last episode of Clean and Friends, where I literally asked my co-host, I'm like, everyone's like on volunteer status, so I'm gonna have to end up paying people eventually.
Well, first there would have to be a revenue stream. As of right now, like that's all. And here's the thing with that too. I would consider myself. It's not just a volunteer. Like you and me have been here for quite some time, so it's kind of like
Yeah.
This is just part of what I do.
Yeah.
Money was never a part of it in the beginning. So it was like, why would it be a concern now? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Now,
Like I've got my own revenue streams from other areas. From this is a outlet for me once a week to just fucking talk shop. That's what this is.
Now, if you pull in $20 million next year, just throw me one or two, and I'll leave you alone. Okay.
Oh, I got you. We're all gonna eat. We're all gonna eat.
Just give a dog a bone. Just give a dog a bone. You know
First,
what I mean?
you have to go on vacation with
a bone or two. You know.
First,
maybe a couple mil.
First, we go on vacation, and then you get paid. That's the stipulation.
Done. Done.
Maldives. We going to the Maldives? Is that where we're going? We're just going to buy an island in the Maldives and just set up base camp there. We all move there, just live there the rest of our lives.
And shoot like 12 episodes for the next 4 years. But yeah. So
me and Jay just drunk, passed out on a beach somewhere.
So I got into this conversation. Who's also a veteran, by the way, and I just felt that as a veteran, I'm gonna give this guy the respect to privately talk to him and tell him how I feel about his situation, and maybe he should take some more time off. I wasn't aggressive, and I told him I'm not trying to push you out or kick you off. You're not fired. I just need you to get your mental health checked, and on top of that, make sure that everything is good. Unfortunately, I all I got was a thumbs up, and he left, our communications. And so in a way, it kind of hurts, So it does. Trying to deal with that this week has not, and I'm actually going to see that individual today in about 2 hours, like in person, because we're actually working on the same thing. So,
I may no longer be a believer, but there was something I picked up on when I was, and just grace and mercy, dude. Grace and mercy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's about all. It's about all we can do for people, and how they choose to perceive or continue on in their own individual realities, dude. Like as long as you keep your side of the street clean. As long as you keep your side of the street clean.
And with all that, this was like kind of this moment where I felt like, because I am a business owner. I am a legitimate business owner of an LLC, and I felt like it was an opportunity for me to. What happened?
Said legitimate. Like you guys got this. You guys on the East Coast got this thing where you're like, I'm a legitimate business owner, and then I'm like, in my head, I'm like, really? So what do you sell on the side? Like, I was like, which place? Because it's like.
Well, I actually do have an answer for that. I actually do have an answer for that, because I do have my paperwork, my LLC, all my paperwork, Clean Sanchez LLC. I sell this merch here.
Right. That's funny, dude. I love it.
Oh, hurry up. We got merch. So I business things are happening, and I felt like that this was the opportunity for me to be that leader and reach out to someone who I felt was having a hard time and was making some decisions that I didn't agree with. And I just reached out to him, and I didn't get it. I love you too, buddy. And I just, this was the first time in my life where I actually had to feel like a employer speaking to an employee to kind of settle things out, And it was an interesting experience. And even though it ended in a way that I didn't expect to, I still feel like that I did the right thing as a leader and as a friend. Most importantly,
you have basically taken the reins of your thing. This is like kind of like your thing now, and so you have to, regardless of right or wrong, you have to protect your thing. It's because it at the end of the day, it's still going to be your thing. So that's kind of like you're talking about having to make hard decisions sometimes. Sometimes feelings get involved. Sometimes feelings get hurt. But it's kind of like, like I was just thinking about this. Like we'll do a little army metaphor. It's kind of hard to get kicked out of the army unless you do something really stupid, right?
Yeah.
But you can be fired from your position, and getting fired from your position can like be a real kick in the nuts if you don't see it coming. You know what I mean? Or if you fuck up bad enough. In the infantry, we had team leaders and squad leaders, and you better believe like you should be feeling like you're fighting for your job every day. You should be.
Yeah.
Like that is not. Those are not the jobs in the infantry. Those are not the jobs in the infantry to rest on your laurels. Like that's where you need to be up and at 'em, freaking ready to go with a hard dick, fucking basically every fucking day.
I wouldn't even just say just in the infantry. That's any MOS in the military. When you get to those squad leader,
team
platoon leader,
section sergeants,
yep. Like no matter what branch you're in, what MOS you're in,
right?
Those you're fighting to keep that on a daily basis. You have to be. What the fuck kind of?
Actually, in theory, yes, it would, because there's a concussion. Smart guy. There's
it's
concussive.
A concussive grenade.
She would feel it. She would feel it. It wouldn't matter if she heard it or saw it. She would feel it.
Yeah, Max.
Did you guys hear Helen Keller fell down a well? She broke 3 fingers crying for help.
Oh shit. Max, if you would have given me a second, I was about to ask him. We were in a deep conversation, you son of a gun. Oh shit, Geo. He said, "Oh shit."
Gates.
That's Geo.
What were they right about? Well, I'm missing the punchline.
So apparently, they were talking about a flashbang being effective on Helen Keller, and apparently Geo was right that.
He called it. Yeah, it's a concussive.
He called it.
Yeah. You would still have
because it's got a concussive effect. It doesn't like the flash is just cool for effect reasons. However,
and the explosion's loud, but the actual thing that's going to shock you is the blast, and you can't fight physics. Can't fight physics.
Nope. Come on, Max. You're a very intuitive person. Ask us another question. Ask us another one. I want to know what you got.
Go ahead, Joe. What were you going to say?
So you had anything else go on this week, John, outside of that lovely?
So we did BRVG, and it's funny because one of the co-hosts is here, and I think we have a problem because what happened at the beginning of the show, Squillini? You had to adjust my audio, right?
Yeah.
So now I'm afraid that audio is not the same on BRVG. So it looks like I'm going to have to be doing some dubbing this weekend. But it's all production stuff. All stuff that I swear, someone called me the greatest producer of all time, and now I'm starting to think that he was lying to me. I got the message right here. Best producer.
You'll be all right. You're going to be just fine, John. You're working hard, buddy. I can see how hard you've been working, dude.
There it is.
I see you, John.
I mean, you work fucking hard as shit to make sure stuff gets done correctly.
Okay, hold up, because now it looks like I'm chasing for compliments. Hold up.
No.
But however, unlike that guy that sent you that message, we're not going to fondle the balls and suck your dick.
Yeah, I'm not swallowing. I'm not swallowing any gravy, bro.
Listen.
I just give credit where credit's due. That's about it. Like,
listen, I got someone to cradle them. All right, but look, you look like such a professional. You even know how to arch your back.
Bro, fucking almost 12 years in the Army, dude. Like, ask me how many dicks I've taken in the fucking face, bro.
Were you
there goes
around
Jay
when
with the fucking back arches again?
Yeah. I was about to say Jay could do a nice little back arch.
Oh, don't worry. I get like let me get a beautiful lady in the sheets with me, dude. Like,
that's right. Gio was there for that. He saw that the arch. Wallace Gates was there for the arch. I have to find that. That was a great moment. Moment.
Yeah, because I think I talked shit about that fucking arch for a solid 10 minutes after the arch.
And you guys keep bringing it up, so it's like, you know, like I have some moves, guys. Yes, Jake can dance.
If anything about Jay goes down in the history books, it's going to be that back arch from that episode.
Watch me fucking twerk this thing, man. I'm gonna slang this ass on the street, homie. I'll do what I gotta do. All right. $20 is $20, bro.
So I know we're getting into football soon, but Jay, don't you have a Roadhouse today?
What were
what you got?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
I mean, we were
what
still
else?
kind of on the. We're working our way there, John.
Oh yeah, that's right. We're still yeah.
You
so
talked about your fucking week. You didn't give me and Jay a fucking chance.
You didn't even
We'll
let
go
me
into
finish.
Jay's. We'll fucking finish that.
I did. Well, you know, this is the thing. This is the thing that happens on this podcast. We all just fucking talk.
That's why it's a veteran-related centric podcast. I mean, we just bullshit.
If I say the word sock, Jay starts talking about sock puppets for 30 minutes.
Yep. It's not that hard to do. You know what I mean? Well, I mean, it's like being in the smoke circle. You know what I mean? Like when you're taking a break at work, you know, and you go out to the smoke circle, and like whoever happens to be there that day or that time, you know, you bullshit for a couple of minutes, you smoke your smokes, and you go back to work. You know what I mean? And that's kind of like in a roundabout way, that's kind of what this podcast has become. And there's been weeks where we've had guests, we've had guest hosts. You know what I mean? We've really like we've kind of run the gamut of like, you know, just do like this is where we come to hang out on fucking Sunday mornings. And if you have a certain time during the week that you like to listen to us, like that's the time of week, you know, you get in the smoke circle with us and fucking hang out. You know what I mean? And yeah, so
yeah,
that's kind of cool. Kind of cool.
It was that situation, podcasting, more podcasting. So did BRVG, Yumi and Lore, Artificial Mind, DD214, and then Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday are editing everything.
That sounds like a busy week, but I bet you like it, don't you?
I fucking live for it.
Yeah.
I fucking live for it. And then today, I'm actually going to X's house. We're going to X's house I'm actually going to pick up Gates, and we're going to be shooting some XVPW stuff. And
cool.
You know, if you guys didn't watch, you guys could see me make my virtual wrestling premiere as DJL. Great story, but I promoted it here on. Can
you send me a clip of that? I gotta see what this shit looks like. Like, it's enticing to me because like I can hear how much you enjoy it in your voice.
Yeah. So real quick, let me make sure. I'll show you just a quick clip. Where is Max? Where the fuck? All right, here it is. So it's just super interesting. Let me take the volume down. So this is. So yeah, this is what it is. It's the WWE 2K game. Oh wait,
crazy.
And then where am I at? Oh yeah, here we go. So that's Monoxide. He's talking shit. And then here's your boy somewhere. And now it just looks like I don't exist. There we go. There I am.
Nice.
And then you see, and then there I am for real.
Oh, I dig this, dude. So it's kind of like so you do promos and like I kind and then do like I'm assuming they wrestle like on the 2K game basically. Is that how it works out or whatever?
So like so you see everything here, and the transitions are great. He hits me with the belt, and then the match starts, and then we make sure that the clothes are
similar or the same,
basically. Are the exact same, so that it looks like my hat didn't even fly off when he kicked me in the face, which is the joke there. But you know, this is what it is. It looks good. It's amazing. Oh shit!
It just took one right to the freaking face. To the face.
Oh, it's cool. You
Jesus
know,
Christ.
we have the opportunity to really get to know each other and talk shit to each other, and you know, the bloopers are insane too. Like Gates said, the skits make it worth it. We have a lot of fun doing it, and we're in this little tiny hot room with a bunch of cameras and microphones, and then we're eating pizza right after. So it's the perfect scenario.
That's awesome. That sounds like a lot of fun. And I can see how enjoyable that would be. You know what I mean? Like that's like me. That's like me doing fucking security at the stadiums or at the Midland Theater in Kansas City. You know what I mean?
It gets me out the house.
Yeah. And you actually enjoy doing it. You enjoy it.
I love it. Yeah, I have to go get some water, so take it off.
So, well, He's grabbing some water. We'll
I don't know if
talk
I
a
want
little
to
bit
take
about
anything off right now. That might be later. We'll see.
Kaboom. Um, but so my week, fucking new game that came out, Pal World. Not sure if you've heard about it, Jay. I
I
don't
have
think we've
not.
talked about it yet on here. It's a survival game mixed with Pokemon, mixed with a first-person shooter.
Okay. Ish. Okay. How
So
did
it's
you like
like
it?
if
You
you,
like it?
I've got fucking 40 hours in the game so far.
God damn. How do you? Oh my God. I play like Red Dead 2, like probably like every night, every day, probably somewhere between 30 minutes at a minimum to like upwards of like 2 to 3 hours. How do you put in 40 hours in a week? In a week, that's like
A little more than a week. It's been out for about week and a half, 2 weeks now.
okay. I can see that. But you're playing other games too, aren't you? You're not
Yeah.
just playing. God.
Yeah.
You are an actual gamer. Like that's like I am such a freaking like casual when it comes to that.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy it. It's one of those things where right now it's in early access. So like it's not the full finished game. The developers released it to early access, so people that were interested in it could actually start playing it and help with making
Work some of the bugs out.
providing feedback and stuff like that, so bugs and stuff can be worked out in it. In the beginning, you're really just farming for resources to build up a base camp.
Okay.
And then you're also going out and capturing pals. They're called pals. The big controversy with the game when it first came out is you can capture like NPC humans in the game and make them your slaves.
Oh my
so
God.
to speak.
So just have them like do all your work for you, basically. Like,
But then your pals also, they have different like traits and stuff. So you've got pals you can capture that'll farm wood. You've got pals that mine for stone. You've got pals that
pal like PAL or POW?
Yeah, PAL.
Okay, pals. Okay.
But I mean, I've been playing that. I've fucking got way more hours in it than I probably should. At this point, I've built like my main base, like where my house, my structure is. I've built this fucker up to where it's like 6 stories tall with fucking everything built into the structure. It's fucking ridiculous. So that I did. So last weekend I was working on revamping my gaming setup behind me a little bit, and I got that all completed here.
Fuck yeah.
So, I've got my PS5, my Switch, all my fucking controlling shit. I actually bought.
He's not using wizardry for the monitor floating.
That's pretty cool.
Woo. Oh, that is pretty cool. I just now noticed that. Awesome.
Yeah.
Fucking
cool.
But like my PC tower, I ended up finding on Amazon, they sell a mount for under the desk that you bolt it to the bottom of the desk, and then it just uses ratchet straps to hold your PC up off the floor.
Interesting. I can see that.
I really do like that. I think that's so cool.
So, well, and with having the stand-sit desk, it makes it easier because instead of the tower being on top of the desk, taking up a lot of desktop space, now if I stand the desk up, it just goes. And I don't have to worry about cable lengths and shit like that, and it yanking a cable out if I put my desk into stand mode. So worked on that some, and then the typical fucking grind. Work every damn day for, God, it seems like I work about 12 hours a day, and then I still put in that much hours in video games, Jay.
That's what I was wondering. Is I'm like, I already know you're kind of busy in general. Like we kind of all three of us in our own ways are very busy in general. And it's kind of like,
that's the thing. Like, since I got the promotion at work back in November, I clock in some mornings. I'm logged into my work laptop at 6:30, and I'm not getting off till 6:30 at night.
Right. Yeah, I can see it.
And then even after I'm off, I'm I've got my phone right by me while I'm gaming. And if anybody on the team needs anything from management, I'm responding to fucking emails and fucking messages from work from my phone, even after I'm away from my computer.
Right.
Because that is one thing I will say, kids, when you get into management in the civilian job, well, even in the military, when you're in any type of leadership position, there is no work hours.
Yeah.
You're always on fucking call. You always have to make yourself available to your people. You always have to respond. There's no, you just work fucking. I work in IT now, and I will say the closest thing to military in the civilian world is 100% fucking IT, because IT never sleeps and the fucking job never ends.
Right. I believe it. And that's I think you're exactly on point. It's like you if you want to get to those positions, you have to, it's called homework. I know we all hate homework, but it's like, guess what? Like sometimes you're going to have some work at home. Now there are jobs out there where you will never have homework and you never have to take your job home with you. But it's a lot harder to get to some of the higher echelons if you stay right kind of like there. And there's nothing wrong with staying right there either. If you're happy, like the job I do, I pretty much don't take my job home with me right now. I go and do a shift of security here and there whenever I choose, and freaking I come home and I'm done for the night. That's a little different. Like what Joe's talking about is absolutely right. Like you want to be a freaking manager, a freaking like a head of whatever, the freaking, regional such and such, whatever. Like,
yeah,
you're gonna have some homework. You're gonna have some homework. Like, so.
And the thing is, I will say really what prepared me for being a better manager and committing to the daily grind to get into a management position 100% would be, like the grinding I do in video games, the grinding I do in my passion projects, whether it's my content I'm putting out myself, my streaming, stuff like that. I'm grinding in everything I do to be the best version of me I can possibly be for everything I do, including my job that actually fucking pays my salary. So, and that's the thing. Like, even before I was a manager, I've been salaried at this company the entire time I've been there. And I've always put in the extra hours to make sure my work was done, make sure things were done correctly, make sure, things were taken care of. I've got one of my employees work Saturdays and Sundays. I'm constantly attentive to work throughout the day, on the weekends even.
Right.
And I'll, each morning I message that person, hey, just checking in. About midday, I'll message them again. Hey, everything good there? Anything management needs to be aware of before tomorrow morning, before Monday morning, so it doesn't catch us by surprise, stuff like that. And that really, in my mindset, is what establishes the difference between a boss and a leader. Because a boss isn't going to fucking do that. A boss isn't going to sit there and check in on the weekend shift when they're not officially working.
Right. And you're right. Be the change you want to see, homie. Right. Like, so, because we've all had shitty bosses. So fucking A.
But
fucking A.
Guess you're up next, Jay.
Oh boy. It's the time. I think we got a roadhouse this week, guys. I think we got a roadhouse. It's about all I did this week, but we got one. So we about ready?
You want to?
Well, pilgrims, it's been a while. Trail has been long. Belly has been empty. Let's head on over to the steakhouse. Let's get ourselves some meat to chew on today, and we'll sip some tea together. How about that? All right. So yeah, finally got back to work this week, which was fucking nice. It's been a little while because we've been very busy since before the holidays. Literally before the holidays. I know we're in February now, but that's kind of how busy we've been. And so got back to work this week. Did what I would call like kind of a traditional Arrowhead Stadium security gig. But interestingly enough, this week it was kind of like a private event. But I got to do security for when they had a couple of press conferences on the days that I worked. And the interesting thing for me is always that when I get to do that stuff, you're kind of just in the belly of the beast. You know what I mean? Like you're right there. And because of we haven't gotten to it yet, but because of the circumstances the Kansas City Chiefs are in right now, being that they're going to the Super Bowl again, I got to work, in deep inside Arrowhead Stadium for a press conference during the run up to the Super Bowl and the week after we won the AFC Championship. So that was really cool. I did have on one of the days. So when the press conference is live, like when they're filming, when they're asking questions or whatever, they don't really want anybody in the area that I was in. And you can take a tour of Arrowhead Stadium, and they do like guided tours basically. Well, this one tour came in, this group came in, and I had to like hold them kind of like where I was, like I was close to like one of the tunnels, and then I was very close to the locker room and the press conference room. So this group was coming out of the tunnel, and I stopped the tour guide, and I was like, there's a press conference going on right now. I need you guys to go straight to the locker room, and like you have to walk straight there. I'm really sorry. And he was cool about it. And it was cool. But then that group got held in the locker room for a while because the press conference was still going on. And unbeknownst to me at the time, it was because one of a very specific player was in there at the moment. And it was number 87 himself, Travis Kelce. And so I had to hold them in this locker room. And as they were, they were fine in the locker room. It was a little bit, whatever. Sorry for the tour they were supposed to take that day, right? But it's kind of cool. They walked in on a press conference occurring, right? But then about like 2 minutes later, another fucking tour group like opens the door from the tunnel. I was like, oh my God. Like now we're gonna have a little issue, right? But luckily enough, it worked itself out, and there were other people there, and we got all the people herded to where they needed to get herded to, and it was just an interesting story for an otherwise easy shift to work at the stadium that day. So yeah, that would be Jay's Roadhouse for the week. First one I've had in a while. Kind of feels good. Kind of feels good to get back into the swing of things. So yeah, fucking party on, man. Excellent. Fucking A. Like
so that's actually it's really cool. I mean, so you had to direct traffic.
Yes.
Traffic.
And I wasn't worried about it with the first group. It was when the second group walked in. It was gonna be a problem. And I was like, fuck. But then, like I said, other people were there, and then other people showed up and they assisted. And that's basically like it was just bad timing. The press conference started, and when certain people are in there, it's like everything stops. So, your Coach Reed, obviously Mahomes, Kelce, when a lot of them are live, or when they're doing their thing, everything in the surrounding portion, we're talking about operational security, kids. You know what I mean? So that's like, that was the reason like why I was there in the first place. They already had there's Arrowhead security. I don't work directly for Arrowhead security. You know what I mean? But that's why they had guys like me there too, was an extra set of eyes, an extra body, an extra person that can help direct traffic if a tour group walks in, right? Like that's exactly what happened. And that's just a regular day.
Is it okay to ask? So we probably already know the answer, but I do want to ask. So is the reason why the tour guides are not supposed to be around during the press conferences, is it because of distractions? Is it because of information?
Noise and freaking, they don't want people taking pictures through. The press conference room is one-way glass from inside.
Oh, no shit.
So you wouldn't necessarily be able to see us outside, but you can kind of see through it. You know what I mean? If you try hard enough, you will be able to. So you could still, in theory, get distracted. And that was one of those things where it was just bad timing. And so the first group did really, really good. And like, I got them shuttled all the way through, and there was like this little gaggle of like 6 ladies. I kind of felt bad for them. but like they started straggling, and I was like, I'm so sorry, ladies. Like, I need you guys to go straight to the locker room. You know, and I wasn't trying to be a jerk, and it was like not trying to flex any nuts. It was literally like, this is literally why I'm here right now, is for something exactly like this, and to keep a distraction away from an ongoing, like a press conference is live in Kansas City, basically. You know what I mean? So that's one of those, like, the shit was live. So there has to be a modicum of like silence and whatever for the people that are doing the press conference. So yeah,
you need that modicum of silence and decorum to make sure the press conference goes off without a hitch.
Yep. That's why when the second group walked in, I slightly shit my pants, and I was like, but thankfully, like, other stuff started occurring almost immediately too. So it was like, okay. And it got handled. And for the first day was like probably one of the easiest shifts I've ever worked. I stood there, literally nothing happened. The press conference occurred. Everybody left the press conference, and I was allowed to leave because that's all they needed me there for. And I thought that's how the other day was going to go, but then the tour groups kind of accidentally interrupted. So, but that's made it for an easy shift either way. So
are we ready to get into
fuck yeah. Fuck yes.
So,
dude,
we're having a repeat of 2017.
2019, but yes.
Is that what's going on?
Yeah, we just played
17.
No,
leap year, Trump versus Biden, 49ers versus Chiefs.
No, 49ers Chiefs.
No, that was 19.
It was 19. It was this football season was not football season was 19, and
because it was Patriots and Falcons.
It was it was right before COVID hit. It was the last Super Bowl before COVID. Like it like that Super Bowl was in 2020. It was 4 years ago. How much you want to bet? Because the year after was 2021, and that's when we lost. That's when we lost to Tampa Bay.
Yeah, 2020, Niners and Chiefs.
Yeah, it was the 2020 Super Bowl. Yeah.
I mean, I just live here. I don't know what I'm talking about, but no.
Yeah.
We almost got fucking Lions Chiefs. Like, what in the fuck happened to the Lions in that game, dude? Like, we almost had I was so like, holy shit, we're gonna get Lions Chiefs. The whole
it was coming down. It was. I was on the edge of my fucking seat, dude.
Man, that was like, well, and they came out like on a tear, just like on an absolute. It was like there's no way they're gonna lose this game. You know what I mean? And then it started happening, and then it kept happening, and then it was like, what the fuck's going on, guys?
You were in Detroit for that game, right?
It was.
What's that?
No, it was in San Francisco.
Oh. It was in San Francisco. Would have been a lot cooler if it was in Detroit. I don't think they would have lost. I don't think they would have lost.
Yeah, it was definitely one of those things where it was like the version of the Lions that came out after halftime was totally different than what we got during the first half. Because during the first half, the Lions were fucking dominating the field.
They wanted
100%.
They wanted it.
They wanted it. And then I don't know what conversation happened in the Niners fucking locker room during the halftime show, during half, but the Niners fucking came out and they said, okay, we're going to eat the fucking Lions for dinner tonight.
Right. That's basically, and football has swings like that. I mean, I'm a Chiefs fan. I know everybody hates the Chiefs right now, but I remember when we were ahead by 28 fucking points, like halfway through the third quarter in a playoff game, and we fucking lost that game. And that shit fucking stings, and it can happen. Like, that's football.
Yeah.
That shit can happen. And like we kind of watched that happen in the second half of the Lions-Niners game. They really all they had to, man, I feel so bad for them. I feel so bad for them because I've been there as a Chiefs fan. Like, I've been there as a Chiefs fan where it's like all you had to do was like hold them on like one guy, like one fucking stop, make one stop. You know, get them to fucking punt the ball to you like once, and we might, and the game would probably be different. But San Francisco went on this fucking scoring tear, and it was like, oh man, it got bad really quick. It got bad really, and you could see it as the Niners were catching up. Detroit wasn't gaining any momentum at all. They weren't getting fired up. That the score was getting close. Like they were losing steam. They were still losing steam, and it was like, dude, you can't do this right now. But they did. But congratulations to Detroit Rock City and the Lions organization. for making it that far this year. Like you absolutely like gave everybody something to fucking believe in.
Fuck yeah.
And like my heart definitely goes out to like Detroit fans this week because like my team might be in the Super Bowl this year, but like I remember the dark years very, very well.
Yeah.
Very, very well. And like I've suffered some heartbreaking playoff losses in the past. And I know Detroit wanted it really bad this year. And that city really needs something to fucking cheer for. You know what I mean? They really do.
Well,
and fucking get it next year, guys. Get it next year. We're all
I'm definitely looking forward to next year for the Lions. Because with them coming in the way they did this season, if they come in with the same gumption and tenacity that they did this season, they have a chance to make it. They have what they need to make it all the fucking way next year.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
There might be some, play calling decisions that need to be changed around because, I get where fucking Campbell was going with some of those choices he made towards the end. But dude, like when you're on 4th down and you're in field goal range, take the fucking points.
Yeah. That's what Andy Reid does. Like you can see the disappointment on the Chiefs sideline sometimes where it's like, we're going to have to fucking take the 3 because Andy Reid will take the 3. If the fucking offense is stalling and we're not like, it's like, are we in field goal range? Fuck it. Take 3, take the 3 every time.
Yeah.
And like, that's help. That's in the Dolphins game, in the playoff game, like our fucking field goal kicker basically won that game for us. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, so, but yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But I mean, and that's the thing, like we discussed last week, right now, like what we saw during regular season with the Chiefs and what we saw with the playoffs, 2 totally different versions of the fucking same team. Correct. Because the playoff Chiefs are totally different than regular season now. Playoff Chiefs are in it to fucking win it, where regular season, they're just, as long as we get to the playoffs, we're good.
Right. And that's like,
that's what we saw.
I caught glimpses of that, and I don't want to I ain't trying to talk too much shit here. We'll talk more about Super Bowl predictions next week. But I saw glimpses of that with the Niners. Like the way they were playing in that first half, dude, like don't do that against the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Do not fucking do that. Do not let the Chiefs get fucking like 35 points in the first half on you. Don't fucking let them do it. Like, don't let them do it.
I mean, but see, that's the same thing. Like if we look at the last 9, if we look at the Super Bowl back in 2020, when it was Niners versus Chiefs last time, Niners were up.
They were the whole game. Until I think it was 20 to 10.
They led the game 20 to 10 entering the fourth quarter, and in the fourth quarter,
it was like 6 or 7 minutes left. Still, there was
7 minutes left. It was 7 minutes left on the clock. I got it pulled up right here. 7 minutes left on the clock, and the Chiefs put 21 points on the fucking board to take the fucking win.
7 minutes.
7 fucking minutes.
And they tacked on more on top of that. They didn't just put 3 fucking scores, or they didn't just put they did. They put 3 scores on the board in fucking. So yeah, it was 31 to 20. You're right.
It was 31 to 20 at the end of the game. But see, that's the thing. The Niners, how they came out last weekend against the Lions, they need to come out fucking putting points on the fucking board from the get-go, not getting held back and waiting till halftime to fucking do anything.
Well, that's exactly what we saw when the Chiefs played the Ravens. The Ravens had not really had to fight from behind almost all season. They hadn't really had to fight from behind. And you could see the Ravens start getting more and more down on themselves the longer the game went on, and they were still behind. Yeah. And we put them behind, and we kept them behind, and it started coming out in penalties. You know what I mean? You could see the Ravens getting visibly frustrated. And that for the Niners, if you want to have a chance against the Chiefs in fucking Las Vegas next week, to not let them fucking hang 35 points on you in the fucking first half, dude. Just fucking don't do it. Don't fucking do it, because you will not come back from that one. That one you will not come back from. Like that's our defense. I think we have the number 4 defense in the league right now, and our defense has helped win some of these playoff games. Our defense won. Wasn't the Ravens game? It was the one before that. Who we played? We played the Dolphins, and then we played. Who the fuck did we play the second game? Because I think it was like the defense that won that game. But yeah, it's like good luck, Niners, and I hope you got a good fucking game plan, dude. But don't come out in the first half like freaking you came out against the Lions last week, because that'll be a bad fucking day for everybody in the Bay Area. Like, yeah. Anywho, do we have any early predictions from you, Joe, for next week's matchup? Before I know we'll break it down next week, but like, do we have any early predictions?
97.
I'm gonna say Chiefs take the win, and it's gonna be 40-22.
Okay.
In that range, like not that exact
More like
score, but
5 or 6
somewhere in
scores.
there. It's gonna be like a at least a 20-point lead by the end.
Interesting. And I'm leaning in that direction, but I think the only reason I'm leaning in that direction is because of what we saw last week. If the Niners had come out and stomped the fucking Lions, dude, I would probably be crapping my pants.
Yeah,
but
and that's exactly why I'm going that direction, because if the Niners came out in the first and were just all over the fucking Lions, and the Lions didn't have that close of a fucking game to where
they almost lost to Green Bay the week before. You know what I mean? They almost, like, the Niners almost lost two, like both of their playoff games they've almost lost already, and it's like that's the only the way they look during the regular season. I would have taken them in the regular season against the Chiefs every fucking game.
Yeah.
The way they've been looking in the playoffs, the 2 games that they've played, and then now the Chiefs have made it. I'm like,
it's one of those situations where if we look at it, the version of the Niners we've had during the playoffs is the version of the Chiefs we had during the fucking regular season.
Yep.
What we have with the Chiefs is the version of the Niners we had during regular season. So, they literally swapped fucking roles.
Basically. Like it's almost like exactly what happened, because it's really funny to me that you see this in football all the time, and this is both of these games the Niners won kind of in spite of themselves. You know what I mean? Because there were points in both of those games they had no business winning the game, and they kind of won. And the Chiefs did that several times this year, where we had like no business winning a couple of games we won, but we did kind of in spite of ourselves. And like, that's all I can say. And we haven't really had we had kind of a slow game against the Dolphins, but it was very well executed on both sides of the ball. So that game was never really in doubt. And who the fuck did we play next? Who the fuck did we beat after the Dolphins before we played the Ravens? God damn it. It was us and the fucking, did we play the Texans? Was it the fucking, no. Who the fuck was it? God damn it. So I can't even keep this shit in my head together. Anywho, that second game, our defense fucking shined, and basically, like, we put enough points on the board, and our defense fucking held it, and got a fucking either a pick six or a fumble recovery for a touchdown or some shit. They put points on the board, and then this game against the Dolphins was just, again, very well executed, both sides of the ball. We made stops when we needed to make stops. We frustrated the shit out of the other team. The Ravens had some really big, solid ass plays too. They had some really good fucking plays where they absolutely torched like our secondary a couple times and stuff like that. But then they started coming in they started making some bad plays, bad throws. Defense couldn't fucking hold the Chiefs. Freaking, we did get a couple. I think we got a couple interception and a fumble recovery. You know what I mean? Like shit like that, where it started taking the wind out of their sails, and they were behind, and you could see it visibly. You could see it wearing on the Ravens. So yeah, I think it's going to be a fun Super Bowl. I also want, and I mean this with no actual disrespect intended. I just think it's funny that both the Chiefs and the Niners are playing a playoff game in the Raiders stadium before the Raiders ever do. I think it's very funny because like Raiders fans and Niners fans, like, they don't, and then the Raiders and the Chiefs, well, we're fucking longstanding division rivals. So it's like, but it's kind of funny. Both of the Raiders, like arch rivals, are playing a playoff game before they've ever played a playoff game in their own stadium. So
yeah,
cheers to both teams on that one. Cheers to both teams.
I will say, has anybody outside of me seen the Paramount Plus Super Bowl ad?
No. Is it funny?
Oh, it's fucking great. I'll have to send it to you.
Just send a link or something.
Obviously, copyright bullshit. Don't want to have anything
Yeah,
happen here.
even though
Um,
everybody else does it, but the minute we do it, our shit gets a strike in like fucking 5 seconds. I fucking bullshit.
Gets a strike, we get taken down, we get
Fucking
fucking
bullshit.
shadow banned.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's what we're looking forward to next week. Definitely next week we're gonna go in with a lot more predictions and stuff. So yeah.
Hell yeah. Good shit.
Well, yeah, we'll take it. One of you guys take the final thought.
Did it last week. Was it you, Joe?
I think
No, it was you, wasn't it, John?
Yeah, I think I did it last week.
You want to do it this week, Joe?
I think it's actually your go this week.
All right. Well, it's about that time, guys. We're gonna say ta-ta for about another 168 hours. It's always a pleasure having you guys. We want to remind everybody, we made it through the holidays. We got through the first month of the year. Freaking cheers. All right. If you're feeling a certain way, if you're having, repeating thoughts, stuff just ain't freaking like, it's just getting a lot harder to swim your way out of the whirlpool. There's people you can call. You got your loved ones. You got your homies. All right. Call a family, a friend, a loved one, somebody who understands. If you have nobody to reach out to, or you're just like, it's 3:00 in the morning and you feel guilty, you know what I mean, about something, like you can text or dial 988. You can also dial 1-800-273-8255. That's 1-800-273-TALK. Okay. We're here for you guys. We understand. We've been there. All right. We lose too many. I mentioned it a few weeks ago. I lost another brother that I looked up to tremendously the very last day of last year. So New Year's Eve. And this is one of those times where, life is rough. All right. But it doesn't have to be all that bad. And if you can make it through the wave, if you can get past the waves in the ocean in your little tiny boat, okay, there are calmer seas coming your way. The skies will open up eventually. Okay, the sun will shine down one more time, I guarantee you. All right, we've said it many times, the only secret to life is living to see another day. All right, that's why we don't ask you for 24 hours. We ask you for 168 on this show. We ask for you guys for 1 week at a time. We challenge you all every week. We want to be here next week. We want to see you guys here next week. We want to see everybody every week as long as we possibly can, okay? Because we only get to do this fucking crazy-ass thing called life once, and it's important that we take it seriously, all right? Not just for ourselves, also for our friends, our loved ones, our teammates, the people we fight alongside, all right? Everybody to our left and our right, all right? All throughout our entire walk of life. The only way to freaking do it the right way is to keep fucking living to see another day. So with that, guys, I freaking wish you all the best. Joe, John, love you guys. Hope you all have a freaking wonderful week ahead. I know you guys are going to be busy. I'm probably going to be busy. I've already got a short laundry list of shit to do today and tomorrow, and I'm probably going to be signing up for more shifts. So we may or may not be having some more roadhouses in the near future. So hit me up on that. So
until next week, guys.
Alrighty, everybody.
So much.
See you guys next time.
Have a good night. Such a proper salute, Squilini. Such a proper salute.